Fixing my hair too.
Co-host. Bill, have you been made a co-host? William Kalinge?
Oh, me? I
I
don't know.
let
Am
me
I?
try.
Did you intend to make me a co-host?
Oh, that's fine. I was just testing.
How would I find out? I don't know.
It shows, it says you're now a co-host. Let me try with Shauna.
Judd, it's Rebecca here. Are we having problems with this today?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about you, but I am.
Okay, yeah, because when I first tried to get in, it said the host canceled the meeting, and then, I tried again. It took forever to get in. There's now 20 people in the waiting room.
Right, and I'm trying to keep them there.
Okay.
Until we stabilize. But
Okay.
Bill's not back on. That's what worries me.
Yeah.
Is anybody a co-host?
It looks like you made me a co-host, Judd.
That's good. Okay, let me see here. So
it looks like I am.
Good. Okay, so we're doing okay that way. For some reason, I can't see it, and oh yeah, there you go. Now I'm. And where's Bill? Well, I'm going to let everybody in.
Okay.
Because you all. Mike, are you on?
He's coming on.
Okay.
Yeah, you were logged on twice, Judd, and you were using the wrong account.
That's right. I figured that out.
Bill is down there. I just see him.
Yes, he just came on.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back.
Good job.
Well, I think it's going to come down to operator error.
You have more gray hairs?
Yeah, no, that's not possible. But I was on twice, and my iPad took over as host, and I lost control there. I gotta learn how to fix that. Bill, are you here? Bill Porter?
Okay.
He's still on. Yeah.
Good morning. My name is Rudy, and I'm from Newport News, Virginia.
Hey there.
Yeah, Bill Porter is here, it looks like.
I'm back here. I'm here.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, we're back. We're good, and it's 2:05.
All right,
go ahead. What's that?
Okay, Judd. First off, I'd like to welcome everybody. I'm sorry that Houston had a problem, but Houston fixed it. And I hope everyone had a happy and safe Halloween and enjoying this beautiful fall day. Judd, are we recording? Would you please put up the agenda?
We are recording.
Okay, I'm going to make my welcome short because I'll let you know very quickly why, but Judd is going to talk on the website. Then we're going to have Joanne talk about meetings and volunteers. Rebecca will talk about the matching gift situation. And then we're going to introduce the new members, and the new members have a chance to chat about what's going on with them. And then we're going to have a rowdy group of open discussion. Just kidding. And then I will wrap it up. And I want everybody to know that this is a very caring and supportive group and that we're all in this together. But the slight change in agenda is I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to turn it over to a special guest for a brief introduction. Dr. Galinge is a PhD, and he is doing a research study in chemo-induced peripheral neuropathy, or CIPN. And I'm just going to turn it over to the dear doctor to take, introduce yourself.
Thank you. I'll be brief. I know time is limited. I just appreciate being invited to talk for a couple minutes. I am heading up a research project sponsored by the National Cancer Institute to develop a simple at-home intervention for people with neuropathy, peripheral neuropathy from chemotherapy treatment. And what we're doing right now is we're developing what's going to be a caregiver education program for family members and loved ones of people who have neuropathy from chemotherapy, to teach them some simple evidence-based techniques of manual therapy and massage that have been studied and found effective by experts in the field of oncology massage. Oncology massage is a very narrow specialization in the field of massage therapy that focuses on the symptoms and side effects of cancer and its treatments. And there's been a small research group of oncology massage therapists who have developed a specific protocol that they have found to be very promising for people with chemotherapy-induced peripheral neuropathy. So what we're doing in this project is we're in phase 1 right now, and we are inviting cancer survivors, as well as family members and loved ones who may know a cancer survivor, to participate in a focus group for an hour to help give us input about how this caregiver education program could be most helpful, effective, and it's going to be in the form of a mobile app. So you'll be able to use it on a mobile device, cell phone, tablet, or computer to receive this instruction. And so as we develop this mobile app for users, we want the input from potential users about how it should be designed to make it most responsive to your needs and interests, and make it really helpful for you to use with a loved one who's a cancer survivor. And so we want to hear from cancer survivors as well as their loved ones who could be potential users of this type of instruction. And I recognize that the mechanisms that cause neuropathy from chemotherapy are different from some other types of neuropathy. So this is specifically focused on chemotherapy-induced peripheral neuropathy. Although some of the some other types, such as diabetic neuropathy, may also be helped by this potentially. We don't have research on that yet. But at this stage, as I said, we want to just invite input in the form of an hour-long focus group from cancer survivors or loved ones to talk about the concept of how we might deliver this type of caregiver education. So if you're interested in knowing more, the website is simply cipnstudy.com. You can go there, cipnstudy.com. CIPN is for chemotherapy-induced peripheral neuropathy.
Can you put that in the chat? Okay, it's there.
Brady
Well,
did, yeah,
yeah.
don't worry about it.
cipnstudy.com, and all the details are there, and I'd be happy to respond individually to offline if people want to contact me for questions. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate you talking to us, and I hope to see you soon again. And you're welcome to stay if you want to, but
Great. I will.
or come in at the very end when I wrap up if you have something else you want to add. Okay,
And
right.
contact will be on our website as well. The PDF is on the website, and then it was in the email that you got earlier in the week. And then we are also going to put a page up, an announcement up as a blog entry, basically, on our website, so you can easily find it.
All right. Okay, Judd, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you are on.
Thank you, sir. We'll let Dr. William go if he wants, but you're welcome to stick around till 4 or anytime. And okay, so I guess it's my turn.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to tell everybody, if you haven't seen it yet, about the website and show you a couple of things on there that are new. Can everybody see this screen?
Yes.
Let me do this. Okay.
Yes.
So, all right. Let's go to the website. If I put in PNS Network, which is all over our website, .org, we go here. One second, let me bring that up. I brought the wrong screen there. Okay, this is our website. That's how you'll know when you get there. No one is alone. Join, connect, and share. And the homepage looks like this. There's our feature picture. A little description here. There are 5 major areas that we want to emphasize right away. Join. We want you to join. That's the only way we know how to contact you, is if you join our membership list. Donate. We're always looking for people who can give $5, $50, whatever you want, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Volunteering. We always can use people who have a little spare time that they could give to us. There's always jobs to be done. The calendar, which tells you about events coming up, and then some tech help. I want to talk first about, and all of this is captured in our top level menus here. You can just about get around the site, and you know, the navigation on the site is only as good as one person's opinion, mine. And so if I don't do it right, you can't find stuff on the site. So I really want you to tell me if you're lost in the site or can't get around, and you can always do that just by putting a comment in any of the pages that have comment fields. But if you can use this search field here, which will get you to just about anything on the site. It's keyword driven. And then, so the first thing I would like to talk about is our end of year matching campaign. We just introduced this on November 1. This on the homepage tells you a little bit about it. One match can release a lot of energy, especially when combined with others. If you click on that graphic, then you'll get to this special landing page, and it tells you about what we're trying to do. We have a generous member who will match every gift given to us between now and year's end. It doesn't matter, up to $1,000. And so you can give 2 ways. You can donate by check, or you can donate by credit card. To donate by credit card, just go here, click there on our donations page, and that can be, you know, there's the donations page. It's on our homepage where I showed you, and just click on the pay now, and you can use any credit card. This tells you a little bit about why you'd want to give, and this tells you about our group is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and so anything you give to us is tax deductible on next year's tax return. So if that doesn't suit you, if you really don't want to use online giving, you can send a check directly to Rebecca Hotop. Hi, Rebecca. She's our treasurer, and she is in Fairfax Station. She'll receive your check just in the mail, And you know, that's easy too. One element is that our electronic giving takes 3.5% per transaction. So Rebecca likes to emphasize, if you don't want to pay that, if you don't want them to take that, just write a personal check and it's all none. They don't take any fees for that. So that's pretty much the campaign. Let me show you a couple of other things around the site. This is very important. This is our, what we call our resource capacity. And it is a great place to go if you're new to neuropathy or you want a fast place to find out things like types of neuropathy, causes of neuropathy, advice from our community. In other words, various people, when they say things, we capture them, especially in the chat, and that's available for you to read. We try to keep it anonymous because we don't want necessarily for people to feel like they're put on the spot, and it's not expert advice, it's advice from us. But it's things like shoe and foot care, things like mobility aids such as assisted driving, things that can keep you from falling, installing the hangers on in your bathtub and things like that. Supplements, which would be things like vitamins and other elements. One second, I'm sorry. And so on. Pain management, exercise, lifestyle. These are things that aren't particularly, they aren't recommended by a doctor or a clinician, but they're from us, the members. And so that's a great place to go because we found that there are a lot of smart people in this group and they have opinions. And it's very good. Events and meetings. Go to the calendar under the third element, and there's our calendar. This is today's meeting. We'll carry you through the next couple of months. We'll also tell you about things that are coming up around the country, webinars and events, congresses, and things like that you may want to tap into because it's important to keep up, and there's a lot happening. So that's our meetings. One of the things we do is try to capture our past meetings because we do a lot of video. And this meeting's being recorded, for example, and we'll edit it down a little bit and then put it up on our YouTube page. And you can go back and listen to, for example, a lecture by Dr. David Clark on the mind-body connection. You can also, sometimes we'll put up notes, we'll put up some communication that maybe somebody has. There's various ways we do that. But everything, you can go back several years actually and find things that we presented over the years. And here's something on acupuncture, something on the Foundation for Peripheral Neuropathy, and lobbying that was done back in 2020, and so on. So there's that. Bill's going to give me the bums rush here in a minute. I only have. I'm sorry. Okay, our blog is good for catching up on things that are happening right now. For example, here's the way we do our blog. Both, you can find it all in one spot, or you can you can just look it up on the homepage. It just sort of goes by. So I'm going to stop there and turn it back over to Bill. But anyway, you should check out our website, especially one of the things we're trying to do is create a thing called a newbie guide. Newbie meaning new people to neuropathy. If you've just been diagnosed, or you, even if you just feel like you're not caught up yet, we're developing a page that would sort of carry you through like what I need to know, where I need to go, and it gives you, it actually is going to be a real tour around our site, but mostly it's meant for what should I do first, then what should I do? You know, because a lot of people are totally lost when they come out of that neurologist's office and they just don't know what to do next. So anyway, that's it, Bill.
Okay, thank you, Judd. I'm going to turn it over to, let me see, Joanne, who's going to talk about meetings and volunteers.
All right.
Joanne, it's all yours.
Okay, well, thank you. And thank you, Judd. I've learned a few things about our website.
Good.
Next month, our speaker, this is December, I think it's December 3rd, yes. It's going to be a nutritionist, and I'm very excited about this because I'm not sure if we've ever had a nutritionist speak to us before, and if we did, it was a long time ago. And our speaker on December 3rd is Mariam Dadka, and she has a nutrition practice in Vienna, Virginia, that is. And she has more than 27 years of experience working with both adults and children with nutrition issues. And she has a PhD in nutrition from Colorado State. She's a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and board certified specialist in obesity and weight management, certified diabetes care and education specialist, and as well a certified personal trainer through the American College of Sports Medicine. So she's assisted thousands of clients through the years, and with the goal of actively listening to the individual needs of every person, and eventually helping people take their full responsibility for their own health and wellness. So I hope you will all tune in on December 3rd, 2 o'clock, to hear Dr. Dodka. And I also want to put in a pitch for help for me and for others in putting our speaker program together. Sometimes our meetings are like this one with sort of an open discussion, but we'd like to identify about 8 speakers for meetings during the course of the year. And we have meetings in 2023 that are not yet put together. And I'm just wondering if there's anyone out there who would like to volunteer to help me. And also there are people on the executive team that have helped with their connections. So I put my name and email in the chat box earlier, and I hope that you will take a look, maybe write it down. And if you think of something or someone that you think should address our group, you could send me an email. Better yet, if you would like to help me brainstorm on possible topics that I can take to the executive team and discuss further, I'd love to have your input. And again, please look at my email and name in the chat box, and I'd like to hear from you. Thank you. Okay, Bill.
Thank you, Joanne. I appreciate it. And we do need volunteers. And I'm going to turn it over to Rebecca for matching gifts. But do you have anything to add, Rebecca, or did Judd take care of most of it?
Well, I was just going to read the chat for Joanne. Her last name is spelled Jessen Joanne, JOANNE @gmail.com. So you can contact her. Yes, I am Rebecca Hotop. I am the treasurer for this group. We've had a wonderful member come forward to say that this person is willing to match donations up to $1,000 that are posted for the month during the month of November and December. So if starting 2 days ago, I guess, you can send a check to me or donate online. Please, we'd like for you to have it in by Christmas, or so we can get it all settled up before the end of the year. So just bear that in mind. And again, Rebecca Hotop, my address is on the website, or you can donate through Cheddar Up, but they do take a portion of your donation to pay themselves, I guess. So I guess that's all. Any questions?
Let me just add that anytime you need to communicate with us, simply hit reply on the invite email. It'll get to us. You just take the invite email and hit reply and type something, put in something, and it'll get to us. It may not go directly to the person, but it'll get to us.
Good.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to move forward to, we always like to welcome new members. Again, as I said in the very beginning, we're a very supportive and caring group. And I see some new faces. I see some old faces too. But I would like to, I know that, let me see, Shanna, I know you popped up first. What we'd like to do is hear what type of neuropathy you have and where you're from, your name, of course, and where you're from, and have you heard about us? And also, what do you have any questions that we may help you with? Anyway, go ahead.
So my name is Shauna Phelps, and it looks like Shanna. I'm from the suburbs of Chicago area in Illinois. I found this group when a friend and I were looking for a more supportive group than what we were in before. And so I've been a part of this since about November last year, I think, at this point. I do have both peripheral neuropathy and autonomic neuropathy. Likely the cause is lupus, so a little bit complicated. Currently, I don't have any questions. The only comment I really have to make is just one, this is a fantastic group, whether you're new to neuropathy or have been exposed to neuropathy for a while. And also that, like Judd was showing us earlier, that website is incredibly helpful. If you have any questions, you can always respond to an email and say, hey, I don't understand XYZ. I have a question about whatever, or come to another meeting. And if there's any questions for me, I'm more than happy to answer them as well.
Any questions for Shanna? Okay, I see some other.
Shanna, you have my sympathies. You look very young to have to start enduring this already at a young age.
I appreciate that. I am a baby. I'm only 20. I'll be 21 next month.
Oh, my.
Shauna you pronounce it Shauna, right?
Correct. Yes. Like there's a W, a double N, something in there. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else? Yes, Helene, have you unmute?
What? No, I just wanted to make sure that we knew that Shauna pronounced it Shauna.
Okay. All right.
I do have something for open discussion, but that can wait.
Yeah. Any other new members?
I'm not new, but thank you.
All right, Rudy, take it away.
Okay, yes. My name is Rudy Pasternak. I live in Newport News, Virginia. I've been recently diagnosed with, they call it idiopathic neuropathy. And I guess I'm very fortunate. I don't have any pain with it, but my feet are getting very numb. And it's making it difficult to drive, because you have to be sure you have your foot on the brake, your foot on the accelerator. So they keep advertising this stuff here in Newport News, sending out these flyers. This stuff called electric cell signaling is supposed to be the newest fantastic treatment for neuropathy. And I was wondering if anybody has had any experience with that. That's my question.
All right, Helene, you have your hand up.
I am a huge advocate of hand controls, Rudy, for driving. If you find yourself wondering where the brake is, it is time before there's an accident to look into hand controls. I waited and I hemmed and hawed and I finally got them, and they are a lifesaver. They really return your feeling of independence when you're driving. You don't have to worry about your feet anymore. So I would look into those.
Thank you.
Okay, Rudy, do you have any other questions or comments?
I've actually got a question for you, Rudy.
Yes.
Were you wondering like what idiopathic means, or do you already know what that is?
Yes, well, they tell me that nobody can really figure out what's causing it, which to me doesn't make much sense. I mean, yeah, nothing happens to your body without causes. I have a hard time accepting the fact that it's something nobody knows what would cause it. So, no, my biggest question is, there's that stuff called electric cell signaling. It's this place called National Neuropathy Center, and they keep advertising that on television. It's supposed to be just great. And I was wondering, has anybody tried it?
Jeff, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I did it well, there's a company called Synexa, which I think is the same thing. And I did 15 sessions for my feet and hands. Absolutely nothing happened. However, some people do claim it has been successful in managing the symptoms, but as you know, there's no cure. So it's very expensive. Insurance will not usually cover it. You have to fight with them to get coverage. But the company is called Synexa, and they're a national company offering that service, usually through a pain management center. So that's all I can tell you about it, but it was not helpful for me at all.
Thank you.
Yes, I'd like to add that most of the ads you see on TV will try and get you in for a free assessment of something. And then all of a sudden they'll say, yeah, you do have neuropathy and so, and it's only cost you $1,000 for the next month to join. And I have found that in the past, before you go to some group or you see an ad on TV, do your investigation and make sure, because usually it's come on, I hate to say that, but some people swear by it, but I was a realtor for years and I could always find people who love my job. So there's always someone that they will always find, well, Gene so-and-so from Tacoma, Washington is cured, and Gene will talk. And so people are just, I guess to make a long story short, just do your homework, be your own advocate, and beware of this. Come on.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello? Yes.
Go
Go ahead, sir.
Ricky Peoples?
Yes.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Oh, how are you?
Loud
name
and clear.
is Ricky Peoples. I'm from Maryland, and I'm new to the group, of course, as you know. And I just found out recently I have neuropathy, but they haven't attached, at least my neurologist haven't attached any other name to it. And I feel after just hearing some of the stories, I'm pretty blessed that mine has not gotten to the point where it's major. I am experiencing, well, let me go back. First, years ago, at least 5 years ago, I was experiencing like a part of my leg with just a certain part of my leg would have a burning pain to it. And then it went into my feet, and my feet and my hands started stinging. And I'm hearing a lot of people saying theirs is numb and stuff like that, but I was dealing with stinging. So I want to make sure that's clear, a serious stinging pain. And to make a long story short, after going through so many neurologists, at least 3, and getting my blood test here and there, and all my blood work was coming back good, I have sort of found that just changing my diet has really almost turned the switch on and off. I mean, I just can't say enough. Just me changing my diet has made a tremendous difference in my stinging the last 2 weeks. So I'm just still trying to learn as much as I can about this. That's why I joined your group. But I feel like if I keep doing what I'm doing and just watching my diet and, learning more about how to reverse this completely, I think I'm going to be all right. So I just wanted to at least give somebody some hope here that, it's not the end of the world. But I think it just depends on how bad your situation is before you catch it. So I just wanted to share that with people that, I'm not doing that bad with it so far. So
Thanks for sharing, Ricky. Let's see, Rich, I see
Ricky?
your hand up.
Yeah, just a quick follow-up
for
question, for Ricky. Ricky,
Yes.
what are some of those diet changes you made?
I just stopped eating, I was looking for a nutritionist, but that's been difficult. So I just really learned on my own by Googling questions I had and going to YouTube. And those two things really showed me that two of the most important things for me to eliminate was saturated fat and added sugars. So I just did that. I wasn't doing as much as I thought. At first I wasn't. I was eating a salad here and there, but I was really still eating the French fries and, a burger here and there. But, after really studying and learning on my own about my diet, I just said, in order for me to know whether I'm going to be able to make a difference in my body, is to stop all of that completely. So I don't eat anything with saturated fat. I don't eat anything that has added sugar, and I eat, of course, anything green. You learned that years ago when you was little, that vegetables and fruits, real fruits, all of that has nutritional value to it. So that was just it. And my doctor just gave me some more medicine to take a third dose, because I was taking that gabapentin and some other stuff, and that almost made me commit suicide. I hate to be so strong on my word, but it's the truth. The effects you get from those type of drugs like gabapentin, and if I had to, I could get the name to the other ones, made me feel so bad that I couldn't deal with it. I just really said, there's no way I can function in life taking those drugs.
Yeah.
So I don't want to come off as preaching enough, but I'm being honest. For me, I just prayed. I said, God, there is no way I can live my life off of those drugs, that you have to help me. And it just sort of, I'm being as honest as I can. It just sort of clicked. Stop being hard-headed when it comes to your diet. If you know certain foods will affect you, don't play with it. Don't eat it. Just don't. And see what type of results you can get on your own, because my neurologist, my third one here, was not helpful. Her attitude was basically, you have neuropathy, take this gabapentin and let's manage it. Well, I said to her, and I said to myself, no, I'm not going to just manage it. I'm going to find out, because what I'm hearing from just these few minutes talking to y'all and everybody, there's so many triggers to this neuropathy. There's so many this. The gentleman who just got off, who was talking about can't being able to drive, no one can tell him that what it is. So I'm just finding out so many things is triggering this, that you really have to look within yourself to see and test what could possibly be triggering it. And if you can find that, depending on how bad your particular situation is, you may be as blessed as I think I am right now, which is, I haven't had one sting all day long. And all I did was just change my diet. So I don't want to take up too much of your time, but
that's great. That's great, Ricky. And if it's working for you, keep at it.
Oh, cool.
But I'm sure a lot of people start out, they take gabapentin and different drugs, and
Right.
It's a journey. But if you find out what works for you, work at it. Anyway,
Okay.
Jenny, you had your hand up. Jenny?
Jenny has to unmute.
So, yeah, that would be me. I'm Jenny today, because my wife was on Zoom before me, and she forgot to He forgot to log out. So I'm good.
Uh-huh.
So I'm Gordon. I think this is, this is like my third meeting, or maybe my second meeting, but I do have a question. I think I know what the answer is, but I want to ask it anyhow. So I ran support groups for many, many years. In the beginning of my child welfare career, adolescents, family support meetings, etc. And then for 25 years, ran a lot of support groups for cancer patients dealing with different types of cancer. Do you have, it sounds like you have a, maybe not a moderator, but a support group person that's managing this support group, kind of keeps things moving. Sounds like you've got that. Do you have any kind of a limit to how long people talk? That can be a huge issue in support groups that I've worked with, and with some we had to create that so that everybody had a chance to talk a fair amount of time. So that's my question.
Gordon, the question to that is, I am the monitor of the chat, and I will cut people off. Do not let them wander. Anyway, yes, we do have a time limit.
Okay.
And it is, I hope, enforced in a nice way.
As best as you can, for sure.
I do as best as I can. I used to teach for a few years, and I was very good about keeping control and what's going on. Anyway, Shanna, you had your hand up.
Yeah, so I just want to add a couple points to what Ricky was saying. So yes, fats and sugars can actually reduce some of your vitamin intake, especially those that are key to nerve conduction, such as B vitamins, because they are fat soluble. There are also some known triggers for many types of neuropathy, such as nightshades, alcohol, smoking, and processed foods. An anti-inflammatory diet has been shown to help people with neuropathy. Regarding triggers, it's going to depend on the cause of your neuropathy or the symptoms you're having. If you're idiopathic, it is more of a trial and error guessing game to see what works for you. I just want to give that heads up of those kinds of options.
Shauna, what are nightshades, please?
I can actually check them later, but nightshades are a category of food. So things like your tomatoes, your potatoes, there's a whole huge list. It's like 20 or so foods, and I can go grab that and bring it up later on.
Okay.
Okay, I see. Thank you. Good information. I see Salmon's phone. Salmon.
Yeah, this is Salman Aziz. I am first time joining your group here. Very excited to get my information.
Welcome.
Thank you. I got a chemotherapy-induced neuropathy. I got a colorectal cancer. I am in remission for a year, but I got hit by this neuropathy in March, and just consistently having this burning pain and everything. The common symptoms, mostly in my feet. Trying to deal with it, right? There's no cure, so I'm trying to work with neuropathy specialist. Not very encouraging from their perspective. Gone through some tests and everything, and still waiting for some response or some idea. They all prescribe you gabapentin or Lyrica or stuff like that, which I'm trying to avoid to take. So hopefully, doing some diet intervention and some information about how to manage it will help. Thank you for your support group.
Yeah.
Thank you. Did I see another hand up?
Yes, Marilyn's back.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes.
All right, can you see me?
I cannot see you. Who are you?
Marilyn Zak, Z-A-K.
Yeah, now you're there.
Okay, I got you. Go ahead.
All right. I'm having issues with my hands right now. I have idiopathic progressive polyneuropathy, and I have it in both feet, more in the right than the left, and I have a hard time walking. However, now I've been tested, and they were saying I possibly might have something in my hands, but I don't have there's a possibility I have I forget the actual name that creates problems for the hands and having them numb. Has anyone been dealing with this as well? And I have it in both hands. The numbness.
Definitely face that numbness in both hands and my feet. It's gotten progressively worse when I've had damage to any of my nerves. So especially the ulnar nerve, which runs basically from your shoulder all the way down through your pinky, roughly. So it's going to be on the side. I mean, you can see I have a scar here because I had surgery. So it runs all the way down, up to your shoulder. Yeah. Regarding how I deal with the numbness, I have Raynaud's, so that typically triggers mine, so I avoid my triggers. If I am facing a lot of numbness, I don't feel safe to walk on my own. So I have a rollator, a standing rollator, which means that it's like a walker, but it's tall, so I'm not leaning over, hurting my back more. That's what I personally do.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other, Mike, I know you had your hand up for quite a while, so go ahead.
I just wanted to say that there are lots and lots of things that people have, and this helps me. But the only thing that we have very much evidence about, and even there, it's not a lot of evidence, is exercise. And the basic concept behind exercise is that of use it or lose it. So I just want to emphasize that diet, yes, but I'm kind of directing this a little bit at Ricky. He doesn't look like he's has a problem with exercise, but that seems to be the one thing that comes up more and more is how exercise is. It seems to be in the long term, seems to be very helpful. And the other thing is about being in your hands. I've had it now since 1997. Just gradually increased, gone up my legs, and now I'm beginning to get the kind of the impression that I'm getting a little bit of something in my tips of my fingers. The pattern is it comes up your legs, and once it gets to your knees, then there's a tendency apparently of it going to what is the next longest nerves. The next longest nerves, once they get past your knees, the next longest nerves are in your fingers. I don't know what kind of exercise you can do for your fingers, but anyway, that's all.
Okay, Jeff, I see your hand up. Go ahead, Jeff.
Thanks. I was just going to reply to, I think it's Marilyn. I also have the same condition, or I don't want to say the same symptoms with, it started in my hands with carpal tunnel. I think maybe that's what you were thinking of.
Yeah, that's a carpal tunnel, yes.
Yeah, I had surgery in both wrists. One of them 20 years ago was very effective. The next one didn't do anything for me. All the symptoms returned and the surgeon said they didn't want to do any more surgery. Then the feet started becoming symptomatic. So at that point, I started joining support groups and doing my own research about maybe this is neuropathy. So I have idiopathic neuropathy, bilateral carpal tunnel, and my neurologist put me on 3 medications. I know there's talk about medications, both positive and not so positive, but they've made it more manageable for me. So I take gabapentin, carbamazepine, which is an anti-seizure medication, but used for some neuropathy, and duloxetine, which is Cymbalta in small dose. And those 3 together, for me, have made it much more manageable. However, like some have said, it's progressing through my forearms now and up through my calves. But that's what I'm taking currently. And I think like what I hear in these meetings is often a holistic approach is best, meaning we do need to look at our exercise, our diet, our medications, and do our best to educate ourselves as best we can, have educated conversations with our doctors, and keep staying in the journey, because no one person has the answer here. We all have to follow a path that best suits us. So I don't know if that's helpful for you, but that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Jeff, I appreciate that. That's excellent advice. And I'm going to go to a hand up. Helene, your hand is up.
Okay, I was gonna say carpal tunnel, but that's been said. So I just had through the neurologist, a nerve conduction study of my hands, because I would wake up on occasion and one or the other hand would be asleep. And so anyway, he did the whole study, which is quite extensive, ruling out for me any neuropathy and also carpal tunnel. So it may be how you're sleeping, and if you're sleeping on one of your nerves, your hands can go to sleep. So I've done modifications in my sleeping position and with pillows, etc., so that I'm not having that issue at the moment. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Good. Again, excellent advice. I agree 100%. I see some new faces. I'm just wondering, is there anybody I've missed who wants to talk to us about their problem? Is your hand raised, Dennis?
That would be me. I'm calling from Los Angeles. Nice to see everybody again. I have diabetic neuropathy. My feet are useless. I have no feeling left anymore. Leg braces, Rolata, and I've explored everything imaginable. 2 years of exercise, physical therapy. So I want to discuss what for me seems like the only alternative left before ending up in a wheelchair. Medicare and the FDA have recently approved a spinal implant that has shown promise for diabetic peripheral neuropathy. You get a week's trial on the outside of your body. They run wires down in your spine. And if you get success and some relief, then they implant the unit inside your body and you have a little remote control to turn up the volume, as you would say. I'm not an expert on it. I've spoken to the manufacturer, to Medicare, the surgeons, and I took my tests already. So this is kind of where I'm at. This other alternative for me. I'm 6'3", 205 pounds. I don't really have any extra fat on me. I eat healthy, 66 years old, but I'm disabled and live in an assisted living facility. So I'm wondering if anyone has explored this, known about it, talked about it, just wondering if anyone has any feedback.
Hey, Mike, you have your hand up.
Thank you, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike? Okay.
Mike, you're muted if you're trying to talk.
Okay, well, let's go to Helene.
Sorry, Mark. Yeah, I think.
All right.
I want to respond to Dennis that I think that spinal implant has primarily been approved in an attempt to screen off pain. I don't think there's any indication that it will restore feeling to your feet. Anyway, what I've read and what I've heard.
I appreciate the feedback.
I'm not sure, maybe Helene can answer. Didn't she have one of those? She said the temporary one works great, but when she had the permanent one, it was horrible.
All right, Helene's had her hand up, so Helene, go ahead, please.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I had it. The trial worked wonderfully, and then they implanted it, and for whatever reason, it didn't work. Now this was for pain. Like Mike says, I don't know what effect it would have on numbness, but I was jumping for joy with the trial and felt like jumping off a cliff when I got the real thing in and it didn't work. So it can work, obviously, because the trial worked. I don't know what went wrong.
Did they give you any indication of what changed in your
They
symptoms?
said nothing changed. The wires were still in the same place. They did x-rays, they did this, they did that. The wires weren't exactly the same place. They couldn't figure out why it would have worked in the trial and not when it was implanted. My suspicion is the wires got jiggled and moved from the perfect spot. But that's just my suspicion.
How long did you have it implanted until you realized it was not of any value?
Oh, I realized right away, but I left it for about 6 months and then I said, take it out.
Did you get when it was the trial week period? Did you get relief from pain, numbness, tingling?
From pain? Yes, it was amazing. It was fabulous, and it was so disappointing when it didn't work on the real thing.
I have numbness, tingling, lack of sensation. When you say pain, is that what you're referring to, or something else?
No, I'm talking about searing, burning pain, not numbness.
Pain, like stepping on hot coal pain?
Like stepping on hot coals pain.
Yeah, I have that.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, then you might get some relief. Apparently it has worked for a lot of people. I have no idea what went wrong when they implanted it.
How long ago did you do that, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm gonna guess it was 4 or 5 years ago, but I'm terrible with time.
Okay.
So it may have changed.
Yeah, I looked into it about 3 years ago. My legs were not as bad as they are now, where I have to use braces and a rollator. And the unit's gotten smaller. There's been a little more tweaking it. It's been when you had it, was it covered by Medicare for you?
Yes.
Right, correct. Okay, I'm sorry you had a bad experience. Maybe 5 years hence. That's why I wanted to know when you had it. I mean, I'm at my wit's end, so I have done everything. I'm getting more medicines for it. I manage my diabetes with my injections. I'm still pretty young, 66. So I'm going to try it, and I'm sorry you didn't get permanent relief from it.
Well, I hope that you do much better than I did. Good luck.
Well, thank you for the insight. Very helpful. I appreciate it.
All right, that's what we're here for. We've got 2 minutes until we break. Shauna, do you have a little 2-minute chat or?
Oh yeah, it's real quick. I was actually just quickly looking into the clinical research of this nerve conduction. And what they're even saying too is it depends on the kind of damage you have. So if you have it just, let me pull this up a little bigger because I'm having trouble reading it from this small screen. Let me scroll back up. Tech issues. Okay, so it's saying if you're having just a myelin injury, no axonal injury, you're likely to recover in weeks to months. If you have issues with your axons, but a couple of these other functional parts are okay, then your prognosis is pretty good. If you have a loss of the axon and there's issues with your endoneural tube, but your perineum and your epineurum are intact, then your prognosis is poor. And if you have a severance of the entire nerve, the only way you're getting regeneration is if the disc is reconnected. So when you're doing this, it also depends on how damaged your nerves already are for it to be effective, just so you guys are aware.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's good news, bad news, I guess, correct? All right, well, I've got about 3 o'clock and we're going to take a 5-minute break to you can go to the Commons and get your favorite beverage, use the restrooms. Anyway, I'll see you in 5 minutes at 3:05 and we'll go into a open discussion with time limits. Thank you very much.
I apologize if I took too long.
See you at 3:05.
Edward has had her hand up for a while. Maybe recognize her. I think she's new.
Who has Brenda?
Edwards.
Edward.
Can you turn down the music? Thank you.
A heads up, my Zoom might disconnect. The weather's getting real bad again and might lose power. So just a heads up.
Where do you live?
I'm in the suburbs of Chicago area, so it's tornado level winds right now. And
Well, thank you for your information on the nightshades.
of course, and like I mentioned too, it's case by case. So like for me, certain foods on those don't actually affect me that bad. Other ones like tomatoes actually cause me to bleed internally, so I can't have tomatoes. So
bleed internally. Oh my God.
I have peptic ulcer disease with a whole a wide variety of issues. I've actually got the 10 years to live diagnosis a few weeks ago. So.
Oh, my sweet dear. Oh, sorry.
All right.
Let's hope they're wrong, because they're wrong on a lot of things.
In this case, they won't be. I have, it's a condition called erythrocytosis. It means that I have, it's also known as polycythemia, overproduction of red blood cells. And in my case, this year, I've had 4 TIA strokes. So that diagnosis on its own is 20 years. So, and then I'm at about 30 diagnoses at this point in time. So sadly, it's very likely, but, you know, like I've said before, I'd rather it be me than some, you know, smaller child who has no idea what's going on and can't get treated. You know, I'm at least an adult enough that I can take care of myself and get my needs met. That's what's important to me.
Do they expect there might be a cure for what you have?
So it's complicated. I have it's known as seronegative lupus. So essentially I have everything that says it's going to be lupus. I just don't have a positive ANA yet. So I have a heart condition from the dysautonomia or the autonomic neuropathy. I have, which can be treated by medication. I need to get my blood fixed, which I can't really do anything about. I have to get phlebotomy to work with me. The problem with most of this is nobody likes to take Medicaid. So it's a fight for every referral, every diagnosis. It's complicated and leads into another. Like right now, I'm getting evaluated for mast cell activation syndrome.
Right.
Spontaneously creating new allergies. So like last night, I just figured out I'm now allergic to coconut when 2 weeks ago I was fine.
Which medical facility are you going to?
Multiple. Northwestern Medicine, who's been pretty good about things. I've had to change PCPs. This is my 3rd in 14 months due to lack of referrals, lack of treatment. I see Ascension / I think it's also known as.
Can you go to some of the bigger institutions like Cleveland Clinic or?
They're too far away from me. I can only get help in the state of Illinois.
Oh.
You were saying you have Medicaid?
Yes.
Yes. Do you have Medicare?
I do not yet. So I just got approved for SSI. I just have to send in my lease. And I'm fighting the apartment to get my lease. So after I get that, I've already got the Illinois Home-Based Services Program. I have a personal assistant who does help me out with a lot of my physical needs.
Right.
I can't do anything. I can get SSDI, but I can't because I
I'm
never.
sorry, what did you say about SSDI?
I can't get it because I haven't worked enough credits and none of my parents are disabled or deceased.
You had applied for SSDI, the federal program, and they turned you down, but you didn't have enough work credits. Is that what happened?
Correct. So instead I applied for SSI, which is just supplemental security income. It's not the disability part.
Correct.
I was able to get approved. I actually grew up around people who did this and was able to learn it on my own. So I actually applied myself.
Okay.
Okay, we're all back. I hope we're back. Anyway, it's open discussion time. And before I start that, I would like to thank everybody in the first hour for their comments. I thought there was some tremendous information. I always learn something. I learned quite a bit. I just can't write that fast, but I got most of it down. As you know, some may not know, we have a chat feature on the side that you go to chat and copy a lot of information down. So anyway.
If y'all are having issue getting to that chat, you just click the more button and you should see something that says chat. If you haven't changed your settings, you can also hold down the Alt button and the H button at the same time and it'll open it right up.
Just what I was going to say. Anyway, on the, I do have, somebody mentioned a time limit. We do have a time limit. And as I said, if you have a question, be general, it's not specific. We're not doctors here. We're just here to help give you advice. We talked about the chat feature. Remember, what works for you may not work for somebody else. So we're not here to say, I swear by Gavin Penton saved my life. And, you know, also remember that interaction is a big key and that we are all in the situation together. Sharing is caring. No question is silly. One thing, watch your background noise. Some people, their phone rings or their dogs come in and start barking. And so please do that. But anyway, so we are open for an open discussion. And before I left, I saw that Edward had his hand up. Did I miss you, Edward? And if so, Edward, you're on.
Oh, he's muted.
Edward, can't hear you.
There you go.
Am I there?
Yes.
Okay, I did not have my hand up, Bill, but I just wanted to mention something. I recently had an appointment with my neurologist, which I do each year. And she said to me, she said, what's the largest, biggest problem you're having? And I said, basically balance. I have axonal polyneuropathy. So I said, balance is my problem. So she's putting me in physical therapy and they're going to give me balance therapy. I start Monday and I can report back to you maybe in a month or so and let you know how I'm doing. But I went through a 1 hour procedure where they wanted to see everything that I could do, not do. It was almost like Simon Says, you know, touch your nose, turn around, the whole bit. And they wanted to give me a grading. And 58 is a grading that's very good. I came in at 38, which is a moderate. It's what they call medium chance of falling. So I'm definitely going to go into this. I'll be doing it 2-3 days a week, and we'll see where it goes. But I just wanted to mention it too. For anybody that has balance issues, it's just maybe something they should look into.
What did you call this?
That. I have balance issues, and I've done PT, and it has helped. And I swim a lot. That helps the most. But anyway, okay.
Sorry, Bill. Sorry, Ed. What did you say that was?
Balance therapy.
Balance therapy. Okay.
Yeah, you just wherever you would go for physical therapy, the physical therapist will give you balance therapy. No, you're not going to be riding a bicycle necessarily, but they're going to be giving you training things on how to. Again, I start next week, okay, but I'll be happy to report back in December, January, Bill.
Okay.
And I have done this as well, by the way. I've done the balance therapy before. It's
Bill, one more thing.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget to turn your clocks back tonight.
That's right. That was my last thing I was going to say. You guys are stealing my thunder. Gracious. All right. On the balance therapy, let me say one thing. I went to balance therapy and they put me in a room, a tilt room, is the size of a closet. And I got in there and the lady was on a computer over here. And all of a sudden, it started to move a little bit, and I started to move a little bit, and then it really started moving. And so instead of touching my nose, I was in this closet all strapped in so I couldn't fall. And everything on the computer turned up red, no green. So anyways, Anyway, so there are different things. I wish I had the thing like that, but I had to get into a closet. So anyway, okay, who has something they'd like to bring up,
Bill?
talk about?
Bill?
Yes.
Hey, I'd just like to say, I apologize if I was long-winded. You know, I'm new, so I didn't know how much information I should say, but yes, exercise definitely was included in what I wanted to say. So that's
Okay,
all.
that's good. Okay, anyone? Edwards, I see. Your hand is up.
Yes, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You betcha.
Okay,
Loud and
well,
clear.
first of all, my first name is Mary Jo, so I
Mary
don't
Jo.
know why it's just Edwards on the screen. I've actually been part of this group for about 5 years now.
And you're
I
still with us?
finally got my video to work. For the last 3 times, I wasn't able to see myself on the screen, but I just wanted to comment. I've had the spinal
Stimulator.
spinal implant, yes, excuse me, since 2018. I had it put in June of 2018. I haven't had it removed yet but it hasn't done that much good for me. I set it on a low setting every night before I go to bed. So it helps just a little bit with my pain, but I also take gabapentin. So it's hard to maybe separate the two things. So I don't want to really go through another surgery just to have it removed. It doesn't really help with my numbness at all. You know, I don't think anything can help with the numbness. So let me just say that I think it helps just a little bit with the burning pain, but not a whole lot.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave it in. Now, when the guy put it in, he said the spinal stimulator or implant is mainly used for back pain. So he said, I just want to give you that caveat because it's not normally used for peripheral neuropathy pain. It's mainly used for back pain. That's what he told me.
Yeah.
So you've had it for about 4 years.
I've had it that long. Yes, sir.
Am I correct in assuming that you have like a little remote
I
control?
have a remote. That's right. I have to charge it. Now you've got to charge that remote. You have to take this little charger thing and put it on the implant in your back. About I'd say maybe every 5 days, every 5 to 6 days. Yeah.
Okay, it's good to hear your experience with it.
No, I'm glad to hear about spinal stimulator. That's something we'll have to spend a topic on and really
Yeah,
it's into it.
Right. I think it's a different brand than what.
I want Rich Davis, not to put you on a spot, but you said about 2 or 3 months ago you were starting some type of exercise or something. Am I wrong?
No, I've started low-level laser light therapy.
Okay.
And, you know, I think there's been some improvement. I was just talking to one of the nurses there this past week about how what I use as a benchmark is, you know, how I feel each morning when I wake up after maybe about 10 minutes. I think blood flow is real important, but that's kind of a standard I use. And I think it's been helping me. What they do, I go in twice a week and they have a special machine that has low level laser light therapy. They do it, you know, they know my condition is peripheral neuropathy. They use it for other kinds of injuries and that type of thing. And they claim they've had some success. So, I mean, proof's in the pudding, and this is something I thought I'd try. Jury, I'd say the jury is maybe still out for me, but the Dr. White said that he would be willing. You were earlier, Helene, I think you were talking, I was thinking about this doctor's, you know, of suggesting that he might come on and talk about it. You know, I know no one wants to hear an advertisement, so that would be certainly a condition if he were to come on and talk about this treatment. But he's been in this practice for, I don't know, 15, 20 years of doing, it's a pain management facility. Anyway, so, no endorsement at this point, but it's just still, it's one of those, possible solutions for some people.
So it's working for you then, right?
It's not hurt. I'm not getting worse.
Okay.
So what do you go by, right? If I weren't doing it, would I not be? I don't know, but
I think you go by how much money they want, but anyway, I don't know.
that's always a factor. No, that's always a factor. And we certainly, want to vet the claims.
So I'm just curious, there's no portable unit that they will sell you for $1,000 and you can take it home and do it when you, so.
Well, a few years ago, I bought my own home treatment of laser light pads. And I got these also through, in both cases, this current doctor and the prior doctor of chiropractic, basically chiropractors. I've been using that every night for about, I don't know, 2 years now almost. And I do feel better afterwards. But I think we were exchanging some email on this maybe a month or two ago, Mike Foxworth, about how you might feel immediately after. Don't be confused by that maybe you get some temporary relief, but is that permanent? Is that long term? So if you get a little tingly feel after you've had some treatment and you walk out and you think, oh, I'm feeling better, does that stick with you? Does that last? How long does that last? I do this at night. It does provide some relief, whether or not it's, the numbness. And I'm hearing that from everybody. You can treat pain, I guess. And that's certainly something you want to treat, but numbness also, you'd love to get that feel back. And, whether that's just short term or not, I guess the laser light therapy, like a lot of, exercise and these other things, it's to me, the blood flow, anything you can do to increase the blood flow is going to improve how you feel. So it does do that for me, but whether it's causing long-term improvement or not, I'm still not sure.
So I can check back with you in 2 months?
Of course. Of course. Hey, this is what this group's
No,
about.
I appreciate that, Rich. I knew you were doing something, so I had to bring it up anyway.
Yeah, and I'm like I say, I'd be glad to talk with this doctor. In fact, I did run the idea by him, and he said, sure, he'd be glad to do that. But again, we don't want a commercial, so that would be certainly.
No, I agree. All right, no, that's good information. I appreciate that. Okay, Mike, you have your hand up.
I just wanted to respond that I wrote a blog article. It's out there. If you go to the website, look for pain, you'll probably find it. It talks about what pain is, and if you have severe pain, you really have to deal with it. It's very, very important because you need to get on with life. But it's just take a look at the blog article. The basic idea is that pain is a device that your brain uses to get you to respond to sensations, and there's with PN, there probably is nothing you can really do to stop the sensations. You don't want to, really. What you want to do is stop the pain. So if pain is what your brain does with those sensations. So if it's helping Rich, I don't know about blood flow. I've never read anything about that, but if it's or the spinal stimulator, if it helped for a while, it's because it helped your brain deal with these sensations. Help the brain adjust to the fact that you've got sensations and the brain is telling you to do something.
Yeah.
And there's really not much you can do about it. So you really like your brain to stop making pain, because it's the brain that's making the pain. It's not the sensations. Sensations by themselves don't make pain. You can eat hot, spicy foods. The first time you say, oh my God, look at this. And then you get used to it and you like hot, spicy foods. Why? Your brain gets used to it.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Shannon, you had your hand up.
Yeah, so, and I'm gonna raise or lower my hand real quick. Regarding what Mike just said, actually, so I have fibromyalgia as well. So I always have severe pain, regardless of what I do. So something that I had to do was like CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy. And that actually helped a lot for managing the pain from a brain sense, being able to kind of see, okay, I know I'm having pain here. Let's do what I can to manage it or try to, relieve it if I can. The one thing I wanted to bring up though, and I'm curious how it impacts all of you, is how has insurance impacted your treatment and your diagnostics? In my case, I know that I'm on Medicaid and I've had a very hard time getting into certain doctors, getting certain treatments, getting certain tests. So I'm curious if anybody else has had some, hindrance from insurance.
I live in California. Luckily, I have Medicare. I'm over 65. We call it Medicaid. We call it Medi-Cal. I live in a blue state, so the social services for disabled people are quite exhaustive. I've been very lucky. But my question, and I feel bad for you, I really do, where insurance should not be a hindrance to proper care. Unfortunately, I'm not getting involved in politics. Unfortunately, it is. Not for me. I'm very lucky. Have you ever thought of buying a policy on the U.S. exchange that is not Medicaid, but a regular traditional policy that you do have other chances to see doctors who would take those policies rather than Medicaid?
So not in my case. Go ahead.
I didn't hear what you said. Say again.
Oh, so not in my case. I actually cannot change insurance due to some complicated legal stuff due to my father. The other issue I have is I actually have no income. I'm about to get SSI for the first time. So I can't even afford it. I mean, I can barely, I'm also in a blue state. I'm in Illinois. I have a lot of those same disability aids. So the home-based services, I have a PA. I'm getting free rides soon in my township. But regarding switching or buying insurance, I can't afford it personally.
Have you gone online and looked? Because there's a lot of, again, politics enters into this, depending upon where you live, but there's a lot of government subsidies for buying private insurance on the exchanges that may make it almost zero. Have you actually tried to buy a policy?
I can double check into that. I haven't heard about the government subsidies, so I can look into that and let you know then what happens.
I'm not saying get rid of your Medicaid at all. I'm just saying buy a policy on the exchange. That, again, unfortunately, we're in an election year, so who knows what's going to happen. But take a peek, because you may get a policy where doctors will take it and almost no out-of-pocket cost for you.
Right now, I have no out-of-pocket costs. It's just I have to get referrals.
Right.
That's where I'm struggling is a lot of egotistical doctors.
It's tough. I mean, even people in California who have Medi-Cal alone, which is funded by the state and the federal government, sometimes doctors don't want it, but the payment is a lot less. But if you have, like me, Medicare, Medi-Cal, you're in great shape. But when you get a chance, go on the exchange and take a look around.
All right, good exchange. I appreciate it. I got to hook you two up.
Bill?
By telephone. Okay, is there any other?
Bill, Peter Coral posted in the chat room, does anyone know about the spinal surgeon, Dr. James Eklund at Fairfax Hospital? Does anybody know this guy?
Not me.
No? Okay. Sorry, Peter.
No, I'm just wondering, can you look him up on, when I see some doctors that, come in town or something, I always check their biographies before I even talk to them. So that's my suggestion, is just to Google the guy and find out.
Personally, I always use health grades. You can see what people have said about the doctor and
Right.
a rating from real patients. So it looks like, according to health grades about that specific doctor, he's got about a 3.8. He's got 8 5-stars, 1 2-star, and 3 1-stars. And
Oh, God.
in there, I'm gonna go ahead and post that link in chat so you can look at it.
That'd be great.
Okay,
Super.
thank you.
All right. Is there anyone else for the open question?
Yes, I do. Well, I don't know if it's a question.
Okay, Helene, go ahead.
Yeah, I, like everyone else, would prefer to stay away from drugs, but I haven't been able to. When I was first diagnosed, I was already in a lot of pain, and to make a long story short, I was misdiagnosed, blah, 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 blah. So by the time I got around to getting to a neurologist and getting the real diagnosis, I was in a lot of pain. I have tried almost everything. Some of the drugs are so expensive that I've said no. But I finally hit upon a combination that worked for me. And that was duloxetine, gabapentin, and oxycodone. And of course, oxycodone gets a terrible rap, but it absolutely helped me enormously. I have recently moved to New York, and I cannot find a doctor who will prescribe oxycodone. They just refuse. And I am back to horrific pain. And they don't care. I mean, pain management specialist, and they don't care. However, let me read you something from the Washington Post, in case anyone is interested, that came out 2 days ago, and it's effective yesterday. The Washington Post reports the CDC released updated guidelines Thursday that offer clinicians more flexibility in the way they prescribe opioids for short and long-term pain. These new recommendations eliminate numerical dose limits and caps on length of treatment for patients with chronic pain that had been suggested in the landmark blah, 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 blah. The guidelines emphasize returning the focus to the caregiver and patient deciding on the best course of treatment. This just became effective yesterday. So I'm not recommending anything. I'm just saying, I'm hoping these New York doctors will read this article and read the CDC guidelines, because my baseline went from a 6 to about a 4, and now it's back up to a 6. And at night, I'm in unbearable, unrelievable pain. So
I read the article. Bring it in with the doctors. I'm from New York City. I'm just wondering, when you say New York State or New York City, where'd you move to?
I'm on Long Island, but I have been seeing a doctor by video in New York City, in Manhattan. Do you know a doctor in Manhattan that will prescribe?
I left LA in New York in 1981 to move to sunny LA.
Okay.
Where on Long Island?
I'm moving to Manorville right now. I'm staying with my daughter in West Hampton.
All right, Dennis, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to move on because I got some hands up. Rich, I see your hand up.
Yeah, thank you. So you mentioned the opioids, and it was back in May, our meeting back in May, we had a cannabis panel. And, one of our speakers was Phil Roach, and I always chuckle at his name because, but Phil, he gave, apologies to others, but who've given presentations. He gave one of the best presentations, and it was kind of his journey, through different medications was part of it. And he talked about opioids and how the doctors were prescribing him opioids, and when they weren't working as well as he needed, they just were trying to up the dose. And he said he just couldn't take it anymore. So his issue was being, I'd say, overprescribed. And so that's when he started taking a look in Virginia, and I'm not sure what the laws are up in New York State, but anyway, medical cannabis. And so there are in Virginia, there's at least a half a dozen dispensaries now throughout the state, several up here in the northern Virginia area, I know of at least 3. And then there are, I know down in Richmond and other places. So anyway, is that an option that you would have, Helene?
Whoops, it is an option, and I'm looking into it, but
If you can, Helene, if you can go back, I think it was on May 7. And I think we keep those recorded, at least you would have the notes. And I think Phil did a terrific job in an outline form. And he talked about all the different varieties and the different chemical, chemicals to look for in each of them. And I thought he did a terrific job. It was very educational.
That's great. All right, I'll go back and look. Thank you.
You bet.
All right, ladies first, Shanna.
So I actually had a very similar point. I also do use opiates when I haven't had them prescribed. And for me, oxycodone actually doesn't ever take away all my pain. I'm also allergic to morphine and I can't have NSAIDs or Tylenol. So for me, cannabis was the one thing that has lessened the pain. I use gabapentin to take away specifically the neuropathic itching, the kinds that you itch your leg and you can't touch it because it's in your nerves. I use diet, all those things, but yeah, the pain is hard to deal with. So if you're having those issues with your doctor, definitely say, hey, just so you know, this is what the CDC is saying. This is what the research is saying about opiates and conditions like this. And explain to them, the severity of my illness causes me to become suicidal over the pain. So I just emphasize how severe it is and the medical literature, and usually they end up coming around and giving some help. If anybody does have questions about cannabis, like Rich said, that presentation was fantastic. Go ahead and check it out on the website. And you guys can also ask me questions. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. As well as, there's a ton of ways you can have weed. There's doing it through a bong, there's doing it through a cart, there's eating it, there's oils, all sorts of suggestions.
Thank you.
Can I just say one thing? Shauna, we've got a buddy up program you might consider getting into if you're willing to talk.
I would be more than happy to do that. I actually, when I got the call from whoever was calling, or I said I'd be more than happy to do it. So yeah.
Okay, super.
Yeah, I can get your information and send you mine later. And also Mike Foxworth has his hand up, by the way.
Oh, Mike, okay, that's your third hand up. This is it for you, Mike.
Well,
go ahead, Mike.
Just kidding. I'm fairly dignified wait a minute, this is Saturday. I'm sorry, never dignified on Saturday. Again, the pain essay that I wrote has a comment section. Rich and Shauna and the people who've talked today about their dealing with Helene, go to that site and put your comments on there. Start a conversation and let's argue this out. There are a lot of videos linked in that essay, and there's more videos in the page that leads to that essay. Dig into this, widen your view, take a look, and if you think that this guy who wrote this essay doesn't know what he's talking about, well, say so, and really take a look at what the logic is. My wife has dealt with chronic pain since she was 7 years old, and she is not really deeply in chronic pain any longer. This is the context in which I wrote that essay.
Can I ask which specific essay? Because I see that there's quite a few that are about pain, and I want to make sure that I'm doing the specific.
There's a comment section that we need to really get a conversation going. In other words, if I wrote something in there and you looked at that, boy, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. That needs to be said. Somebody needs to say, hey, look, you wrote this, but that doesn't apply to me, or you don't know what you're talking about, or well, I'm not sure that's quite right. When we put it in writing, and we get it going over a long period of time, it's odd how these essays can start to change.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Any other hands up I've missed or anything else? I see some,
I did have a question that I was asked by Peter, who was asking, what's the best way to find a surgeon in like for lower back surgery in the area? So I know for my suggestion was just to go ahead and look up what your insurance covers, check them on health grades, and check where their actual location is. But I didn't know if anybody else maybe had a better opinion or some suggestions. They did say that they're in VA/DC area.
personally, I ask friends and look for a personal help. You know, I'm looking for a podiatrist. I'm like, who do you use? You know, let the word spread.
Yeah,
But I live in a
agree.
community of 15 senior citizens, so I get a lot of answers. So anyway, that's what I do. Anybody else?
Okay. I mean, oh, Laura's got.
Laura, is your hand up or are you
Yeah,
scratching?
right. I got in late. I just got back and missed most of it, but I'm so happy like that I can at least ask a question. Over the last couple days, and I cannot explain why, I went from maybe a 6 to a 9. The pain at night and all day, no matter what I do, I cannot stop it. I've been on cannabis for a few years and it's always been sustainable, then I could handle it. Now I feel so desperate to know what to do. I have a neurologist, but the truth of the matter is that he's not really interested. And when I asked my favorite doctor, do you know a good neurologist? She said, no, not in this area. So, I mean, there doesn't seem to be anybody. I've been looking for it since 2016. I finally went to this one guy anyway, and really talked to me for an hour, but it didn't have any real solutions. You know, take a pill, but nothing, you know, else. I feel so desperate at this point. I got these AM Release socks and they help tremendously. Has anybody gotten them?
What are they called? What are they
Called
called?
AM Relieve. AM Relieve.
AM Relief.
They, your toes are out and it really helps the circulation. And I didn't realize that they were that good until I washed them last night and didn't have them on. I'm like, oh my, what a difference. But I'm just trying to think of, this is my question. I'll get to it in a second, finally. I'm on CBD. I can't take the THC at night because it just puts me real high and keeps me awake. Like it does not give me any sleepiness. But during the day, the THC, I mean, the CBD, can I take double what I've taken when it says daily? I mean, I don't know if there's any bad side effects from taking too much. Is CBD, is there?
So, and I can actually answer super well. So with your THC, if you're using THC and CBD in 3-to-1 CBD to THC, you will not get any high effects. Depending on the type of weed you're using, that might be why you're not able to sleep. A sativa or a hybrid will typically keep you up, and an indica will typically put you to sleep.
It's sativa, yeah.
It's, yep. So yeah, you're taking the one to keep you up, get you energized, make you do stuff. So that's going to be your first hindrance. Regarding the CBD, there's not really a negative side effect. The only thing that can happen is you build a tolerance. So you can take 2 times the amount, but if you find yourself having a tolerance, take a break for as many days as you're able to. I understand that 9 for a pain is it's unmanageable. So
this is horrible. Yeah. I've never experienced anything this bad. My hands are now involved, especially my left hand for some reason. That goes numb all the time. My feet are just on fire. And yet I have to still use I'm worth a heating pad, warmth. I can't even, I've tried both, you know, like ice and this and that and all that. And now it's just gotten unmanageable. But if I have sativa, then I have to go to something else.
Yeah,
But it-
you'd go to an indica, and I'll write that in chat for you.
Oh, okay. All right. So I have quite a big supply and they're not cheap, but if I take it in the morning first thing and then take something in the afternoon, if I take I don't want to throw my sativa away. I mean, would that work to have indica in the afternoon then?
Yeah. So what I do is if I'm trying to do stuff, I will take a sativa. And if I'm trying to sleep, I will take an indica. If I'm somewhere between just trying to manage the pain and don't really want to go one way or the other, then I'll take a hybrid.
Okay.
I want to ask, what neuropathy?
Thank you.
What causes your neuropathy, out of curiosity?
Nerve damage.
Yeah.
For you, Laura, do you know what?
For me, no, I've had it for years and years and years. I had surgeries because before they knew what it was, they would diagnose me with, well, we'll fix it, we'll do surgery. And I had failed surgeries. I had all kind of stuff. I've had injections to try and make your feet numb because it was never diagnosed for years. I've had it for 30 years.
So
But,
is it ultimately idiopathic?
yeah, I'm not diabetic, no. So
It's
Maybe
idiopathic.
try a rheumatologist.
idiopathic, right? They don't know. And it's just now gotten to the place where I can't handle it. I mean, I don't know what to do, but thank you for saying that because I've always been very active. I'm a multitasker. And so the sativa, I didn't realize that it was harming me by giving me energy. It seems like it is. It's intensing the pain, right? No?
Anyway, Laura, I'm gonna have to move on.
Go
and,
ahead, sure.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
Time limits. I've got two hands up and.
Okay.
But I appreciate what you're saying and thank you for contributing. And Diane. You're muted.
Unmute. There we go.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, okay, I'm unmuted
Yeah,
now. All right,
you're good.
I was just gonna say something going back to the fact that the exercise has come up a couple times during the conversations. And recently I heard a speaker at another neuropathy group, I think it was Dr. Brett McCrae,
Yes.
and he was talking about exercise. And he was saying that for people that can't necessarily be on their feet in a vertical position, like walking, doing a lot of stuff on their exercise, even any kind of other exercise was good for neuropathy. Just, whether it's using your arms or your legs or in a sitting position or laying on your back and moving around. He said, all exercise is good for neuropathy. It doesn't have to be just exercising your feet if your neuropathy is in your feet.
Yeah,
Any exercise will generalize.
Yeah, they say motion is lotion, rest is rust.
Yeah. So anyway,
Anyway,
I just thought I'd share that with what.
thank you very much. Thanks for sharing. Sharon, you got your hand up.
Yeah, I just have a quick question. I'm in Maryland, and I was just wondering if anyone had visited Guterman's Orthopedic in Rockville, and if so, if they had success there or not. I guess that answer means no.
No, well, somebody. Shauna, you put something in the, didn't you put something in the chat about doctors somewhere?
The question that let me go back up to it, that Peter Coro had, just trying to find a doctor. So like what I told him is just check your orthopedist, Sharon, and see what they say on like.
Oh, I was specifically asking for personal experience. I can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because health grades will have reviews from real people who have gone there. So then if you can't find an experience here, there should be some there.
Yeah, but I would also argue those could be biased because a lot of people who are just either irritated or really happy put those in.
I totally agree. And thank you for pointing that out.
Can you write it? What is the name of the practice?
Guterman, Gouterman. Because I know you have, there's a couple videos from people talking before, and there's the one that was recommended in Virginia, but I was going to try this guy in Maryland just because he's closer to me. So I was going to watch the videos that the chapters have before I go, so I'd be re-informed.
What specifically made you interested in? Did they make some claims, or did they something about them got your attention?
And this person in particular?
Yes.
An orthopedic surgeon said that he's this is who they send everybody to.
To do what?
Like to fit orthotics and braces for all parts of your body.
Okay. We have a video out there. I'm not sure which month it was, May maybe, or April, of the man who in Pittsburgh who fits shoes and braces.
Yeah, I was going to watch that one.
You did? Okay.
Well, I was going to watch that one, and I think there's another one. Maybe wasn't there one way before that from the guy in Virginia, or maybe that was through the Chevy Chase group.
It was Joe Ponzi back in September. Joe Ponzi.
Mm-hmm.
He's a podiatrist or a potty or a something.
Yeah.
Also, we've had Joe Terpenny from Infinite Technology.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
I think Infinite Technologies has a practice in Maryland. I can't swear to that, but I believe they do.
Maybe that's new.
I don't know, but that's not necessarily the recommendation one way or the other. I'm not familiar with this particular. There are. I was surprised. I looked into the possibility of getting a brace, and I haven't pulled the trigger yet. But the insurance company had a favored group different than Infinite Technologies. And when I looked into it, their proposals were similar. Medicare used to be that the only thing that Medicare would approve were rigid braces, which where you held it locked in place your foot and your leg. It basically replaced your leg with a stump. And but nowadays Medicare will pay for more flexible braces. They're considerably more expensive, but they're much more functional. So there's the standards that Medicare will cover have changed quite a bit in the last few years.
Okay, I've got about 10 more minutes until I kind of close this wonderful discussion. Is there anyone else who wants to add something, or the idea or something? As Sharon, no, I called on Sharon. Is there anybody else? I don't want to miss anybody. Remember, you've got to fall back tonight. Change your clock. Don't fall over, fall back.
No problem.
That means we get another hour of life.
Depends how you look at it.
Look for daylight savings time. The saving part I like. Forget about what the word is, but just get that saving bit in your soul and spirit, people. That's what you need to get through this stuff. You know my attitude. You've heard me talk about this before. I'm not the person who's polite. I get angry and I express it because I think I got to get it out. If you got another way to get it out of your anger, good. Tell me how you did it.
I think we'll close on that one. Okay, Shanna, okay. All right. Is there anybody else who has not talked or expressed their opinions?
I'd be interested in knowing, what Dr. Colling got out of listening to our conversations here.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Yeah, I have been listening, and it's very informative to hear everybody's what diversity of perspectives there are and what diversity of symptoms and approaches that you all are using. So thank you for letting me listen in. I personally have idiopathic peripheral neuropathy in my feet. So I'm with those of you who have not found any effective solution for that. I've tried about 12 different things, from electroacupuncture to other kinds of electrical stimulation and supplements and cannabis cream and lots of things. And I have not found anything that's made a difference for me yet.
Apologies for interrupting, but how long have you had it?
It's been developing for what, maybe slowly over three to 4 years. You know, and I'm a lucky one in the sense that it has not impaired my functioning. But I do understand that it's progressive, and you know, I'm 6'3", almost 2, and one thing I heard was the length of the nerves is a factor, and over aging, and so I don't know. I continue to look for interventions. I've tried chiropractic and osteopathic and other things, but it is idiopathic, and idio is the same root as the word idiot, meaning nobody, you know, somebody doesn't know anything.
Dr. Collins, can I ask, what do you mean by the length of it? Do you mean like if you have shorter nerves, you're more likely to have it, or longer nerves?
Oh, I was told by one doctor that taller people have longer nerves going down their legs to their feet, and simply the length of nerves might be a factor for, over time, nerves losing function. But I don't, you know, it's very, very speculative.
Thank you.
So I do appreciate everyone's candor and sharing about their diverse different experiences with neuropathy. It's a coincidence that at this time in my research career, I'm working with chemotherapy related neuropathy when I'm dealing with something kind of related myself personally. So that's interesting. So I wanted to thank you all for letting me attend, and if anybody is interested in the chemotherapy induced peripheral neuropathy project that we're doing, you could go to that website, CIPN.com, CIPNstudy.com.
Well, we appreciate you coming back. You're the first doctor who came back in the same session, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
And you are always welcome, right?
You're always welcome to come back anytime. Anyway,
You're especially welcome as to have somebody who really does know something about medicine, as opposed to we won't share any names, but somebody who thinks he knows something.
All right. Well, anyway, I've got to close this out, because one thing I've got to talk about is our leader Pat is not feeling well today. She's recovering from some surgery. So she said that I had to talk about, we have a Bethesda Chevy Chase group meeting on 11/17/22, but you have to contact Steve Klitzman, who used to be a member of this group. And I also want to mention that I get this, I've always talked about this, it's called Brain in Life, and you get it for free, and it comes out 6 times a year. And it's a great, in fact, this current, I don't know how many, but they've got a nice issue, article about good Dutchman who rode across the country. They talk about portals, they talk about caregiving, they talk about, but I recommend this, and you could get it for free. It's called Brain in Life.
I just want to add to that. I get the magazine. I think it's fantastic. They also have a podcast that and the magazine, which is also very helpful.
All right, and my final thing is, somebody already said it, but please fall back and do not fall over. And I appreciate Judd and Joanne and Rebecca for all their help, and Mike. And I appreciate all the interaction with you guys, and I appreciate that. And we look forward to seeing you in December to hearing about the nutritionist.
Bill, if I could make one more comment.
Yes, one more.
Please,
One
please
more.
remember to donate to us. We've got a person who is willing to match your donations up to a total of $1,000. Please donate between now and Christmas time. Thank you.
I have two
Okay.
comments. Bill, many thanks again for everything that you do. And Rebecca, my check's in the mail.
Okay, yay.
Thanks,
Is that
Jeff.
gonna be both $1,000?
Well, wait, now that was, well, by the way, I was curious, was that, that's aggregate 1,000, right? So he'll,
Correct, yeah.
yeah, so if like 10 people each.
No, I'm
and he's not.
this person is not matching every check.
No,
Believe me.
I hear you. No, that's still quite generous, and I just appreciate everything this group does. So honestly, truly, my check will be in the mail next week.
All right, and
Okay.
keep us advised about the red light therapy.
A technical note, if you open your chat up, there's an option at the bottom, a little 3-dot thing, little 3 dots, and you click on the 3 dots and you can say save chat, and it'll make a copy of the chat on your hard drive or wherever your computer
Thanks,
stores
Mike.
such things.
Thank you.
All right,
Yeah, we'll post that on the website too.
I move that we adjourn the meeting. What do you think, Judd?
You've got a football game to get to.
I hear I stood up and closed my door. I hear my husband's watching it down there now.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm a diehard Tennessee football fan, so
Go Vols.
the Vols will win. We'll beat the Dogs. I
All
hope. All right, I'll see you in December.
Thank
Bye,
you, everyone.
all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Good to see y'all.
Goodbye from Los Angeles. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
How's Rodney? Rodney hasn't spoken at all. How's Rodney doing? Oh, Rodney left. Well, Shauna, I'm expecting you to make comments about the Payne article. Oh, you're muted.
Yep. Yeah, I have it. Is that the one that I linked earlier? Is that the correct article? I just wanted to check.
I don't know. I probably missed it.
It's let me go back to it so I can. The loss of full life, pain, and work in progress. Is it that one or is it something else?
No, there's a newer one. Yeah.
Okay. Try and
Just
find.
word search on pain. It'll show up. Should. By Mike.
Chronic PN pain.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Here's a dumb question. I haven't saved a chat in a while, but I just saved this one because there's a lot of good info in it. Where does it get saved to? It didn't show up on my screen. Does anyone know?
That's a very good question. It
Figure
creates,
it out.
I don't know what it is on a Mac, but on a PC, it'll be in videos, and within videos, there will be a folder called Zoom, and within Zoom, there will be a folder for today's date.
And
There you
for
go.
mine is actually stored under documents, then Zoom, and then it made today's under today's date. It says, 2022-11-05, the time and all that.
Do you recall what the file name was? Because I can always search on that too.
Yeah, let me pull it back up.
today's date.
And
Today's date with hyphens.
How would it be? What syntax?
Here, I can send it to you.
It's just a text file. It's raw text, and you can open it at anything.
Right, but I was just curious how it was. Like today's date is NOV 05.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to put it in chat for you real quick. So that's what mine looks like. Mine is the system info. That way you don't.
Gotcha.
They're
I'm
all
sure.
gonna
Oh,
come on.
gotcha.
2022-11-03, and then
Yep, got it. No, that's great. I'll
05.
copy that to the clipboard. Yep, thanks.
Donna, It's good to see you. Thanks for being here, and appreciate your contributions. That was great. In fact, are you interested in volunteering a little bit with the
Depends on
group?
what you got, because I will say so because of the strokes, I do have a lot of different abilities.
Oh yeah.
So what are you looking for? I definitely can do the buddy up. I would be more than happy. I can do any age group. I've done it before. I've done 20s up to 60s. So
Okay.
Well, you certainly were helpful at this meeting, that's for sure.
thank you.
Yeah. Now, who took over the spotlighting at the end?
I did. That was me.
Shauna, okay. Okay,
I was
great.
lowering hands and adding people to it and all that.
Yeah.
Realistically, as long as I don't have something conflicting with these meetings, I'm more than happy to do that anytime I'm here.
That's great, because it comes down to a very few of us trying to run the meeting, and they get of a size, and the more comfortable we get, the more people speak up, the more they want attention. And so it makes sense to have more management, rather than just a simple Zoom meeting. So very good. Very good.
Wait a minute, I'd like to have a Zoom meeting with you. How do you do Zoom meetings, Shauna? Do you do Zoom meetings?
I haven't done them recently only because my health was so bad for a minute, but I do, when I can attend, I do. And I appreciate that you liked me being here.
I believe there's no simple connections. There's a purpose for people meeting each other. This might be one of them. So I'm hoping there's the connection for a purpose there. For maybe all of y'all. You're the only ones that left on the screen. And this other sponsor said, I got to go to a football game. He doesn't want anybody on. But this guy here, the guy who's directing this program now, he stayed on. Why? Because he's got something, there's something I believe going on here that most people don't have. But for some reason, we have connections. And I don't know why, but I believe it's important to believe in connections for a purpose.
Yeah.
I know you seem to be in the worst condition than any one of us, because you know how long you got to live. And I don't know how I would handle that, but I hope that there's a reason for us to be communicating. And I would like to keep going in that direction.
I appreciate that. I agree. I think connecting with people gives you that hope again, that there is options. And that's something that is very hard when you're younger, especially because you feel very isolated with this condition. It's not, the older you get, the more likely you have it, because we have more nerve damage over time. But being young makes it very difficult. So I appreciate that being here. And Judd, of course. I mean, Judd is always working beyond. That's the one who runs this. Mike Foxworth always writing articles that are inspiring. Rich was asking great questions today. I appreciated you sending me the questions you had, Peter, and I hope that what I was able to get was helpful to you. If it's
it was.
I'm more than happy for anybody to contact me and say, hey, I have questions, or hey, can you look this up? Because I like to research. It's fun.
I was supposed to get an operation January for surgery, and you just told me that guy wasn't rated that great. So without that information, I might have had that surgery.
He's honestly not that bad, considering most doctors are rated about a 3.5 or up on health grades is pretty decent. So
okay.
3.8. So he's not terrible, but there have been some concerns. So it's okay to just look into it, ask them, hey, what experience do you have? You can call their office and say, I'm feeling unsure about this. Can you tell me more about this? What side effects, what my recovery time is, what the actual operation will do to me. So I had hand surgery a year ago, little bit over now, like a year and 2 weeks. And for me, it was, okay, well, what is this going to look like? How long is the anesthesia supposed to last? Because with me, I have abnormal reactions. What's good for you with this, doctor?
The one of the things I didn't mention when we went over the website, I'm trying to start a page called Advice from the Community. If you can come up with a better name, let me know. Actually,
Community Chatter, maybe?
It's what?
Community Chatter, maybe, or something like that, even? Or
Chatter, yeah.
Community Collective, or I don't know. I'll look into words.
Well, it's really about, we realize we're not medical professionals, nor do we have any, ability to really make a recommendation, but what we do have is advice and discussion, and that's very helpful. You can go to a doctor to get a professional opinion, but it's real hard to get this stuff that we just got in 2 hours. And trying to figure out its life, trying to extend its life. And so that's another area for volunteer that I was thinking about, Shauna, because you're so good with that, not only capturing notes, because you're a good student, but, filtering out, I'm not kidding, I'm filtering out the information, getting down to exactly what the nutshell is supposed to be, and then expressing that in a way that's not heavy-handed, but here's an idea, here's a recommendation, this person has tried this, just like, it's all in the chat. It's very rough, of course, when it's in the chat on Zoom, because people are writing real time, but we kind of dress it up, put it in categories, and then, that could be a new thing that we could talk about. It's kind of what Peter's talking about community really is.
I did actually take some notes too while I was here, and there were 2 things that I really wanted to express that I hadn't, more so to you and whoever's leading, is I do have some mobility aid recommendations that have not been listed yet on the website. And to why I did that. So like the rollator, I went from a walker, which was very bad for my back and my shoulders, to a standing rollator. So it's literally, I put my arms like this and here's the brakes, and it's.
Oh yeah. I've seen them. I haven't tried it, but that's a nice device. Much better than a wall.
The other thing that I wanted to add is you were talking about like a newbie guide to neuropathy. I would be more than happy to help you all write some of that out, do some proofreading, any of that.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
More research than I would care to admit. So yeah, I'm more than happy to make that a project.
Okay, great. I'll be in touch with you.
Sounds great. Do you have my contact info, by the way, or should I message you at Roll?
Oh yeah. Well, you're a member, sure. Don't I? I know I do from the Diva days.
Yeah.
Great. We sent you an invitation, right? You got the invitation email?
You got an invitation for this meeting?
I've been here for so long, I don't even remember. I got it.
How did you know about today? How did you know
I got
about
it through email.
today?
So yeah, I'm part of your MailChimp mailing.
Yeah, that's it. That's all. I got your information.
So long as it is an anonymous 723, I mean.
It's literally my name, my first name, middle initial, last name at Gmail. Like it's easy. You'll know it's me.
Actually, we do have a member whose their email is oldemail@gmail.com. I keep forgetting who exactly that is. I mean, it's a little hard because we got questions.
You
So,
actually,
Judd,
go ahead.
two quick comments, Judd. First, I think this is a terrific idea because this, I think, provides.
Which one?
Which one? The idea of like suggestions, ideas, recommendations, guides, whatever you want to call it. I think that is one of the things that is of most value because we've all talked to the doctors, a half a dozen average each. And so, they're not necessarily all forthright and tell you everything like it is, but you get that here. So people's thoughts, ideas, recommendations, suggestions, whatever you want to call that, all kinds of things we could, but points to ponder, doesn't matter. That's most helpful because not everything works for everyone, but hey, it's like, oh, well, this is something I might try. And if this helps me feel better, terrific. I think the ultimate goal for all of us here is we want to improve our quality of life. Mm-hmm. That's the bottom line. However, we can improve our quality of life. We all have, a finite number of days on earth. And so how can we improve that for each of us? And anyway, so I think this is a great area to provide articles and things like that. And then Shauna, I was just curious. I mean, you are at such a young age. My heart goes out to you. I will certainly keep you in my prayers. I'm wondering when was it you first were experiencing the onset of PN?
Probably about 14. I already had Raynaud's showing up.
Oh my goodness.
So My situation is a little different than most people. I grew up in abuse. I had physical, verbal, emotional. I at one point did have sexual abuse. So my bones are a lot older. There's a lot of things like that.
Obviously, very strong person and very mature for your age, but I know that probably comes with scars. But I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're perfectly fine. So most of my stuff, because it was neglected, that's why it progressed so badly. So once I turned 18, and got on my own, then I was able to start treating things. So at this point, I can figure out where I left my phone. There it is. Take a lot of medications for different things. And I have to do a lot of self-care and a lot of self-monitoring, a lot of self-treating, which is very frustrating. So like medical conditions wise, I mean, this is all of my diagnosis up to that point. It's a lot. And because it's that lupus, because of the lupus combined with the fibro, combined with the erythrocytosis, it just led to everything deteriorating. So for me, I have to treat it all. I cannot name a working system in my body, not one organ even, except, well, actually my pancreas is kind of okay right now. That's probably the best organ I got.
So apparently your brain is functioning pretty high level.
Remarkably.
I'm a high IQ, but I'm also very likely highly autistic. I'm getting tested for that soon. So it makes things even more complicated because I have misdiagnoses.
Yeah, you need to tell your doctors that, hey, I have only so much space on my cell phone screen. So gotta take something off before I can add something.
Honestly though, I mean, that's why I have this list. Is actually I have pretty regular ER visits, to be honest. This month has been worse than normal months. And part of that is I have, I'm getting tested for it, something called mast cell activation syndrome. So I spontaneously create new allergies. I will bleed internally if I eat the wrong things. It's just a mess. But I would rather have the diagnosis so that I can get treated. That's,
Yeah. Knowing the truth is kind of important. Yeah.
Yep.
I
mean,
Lindy, I urge you to respond to that essay.
I will. I've got it up and saved so I can look at it, read it through real quick. And also hello to Mrs. over there.
Lindy, I've been listening. You impressed me so much. I had to come and say hi.
Thank you.
I haven't heard that. I kind of turn off PN meetings. I don't listen. So I
yeah, it was hard to go to sleep today.
I didn't know you'd been coming. I'm so impressed.
I've got your information, Shauna. It's good. We're good. Yeah.
Appreciate that, Judd. Thank you.
We have a
For sure.
12-year-old granddaughter who's just been diagnosed as autistic. So I have some feeling.
It's a very hard struggle, but once you start to learn how to retrain your brain, it gets a lot easier. Things like I went from asking myself what's wrong and like very internalizing my problems to what need isn't being met. And all of a sudden it's, oh, well, actually my, autonomic neuropathy is acting up. I'm feeling uncomfortable. Let's deal with that symptom and then I'm fine.
You're going to be fine because you are so smart.
I'm sure your granddaughter will be wonderful in wonderful hands with the two of you. She's blessed.
Well, Shauna's the kind of person that
I'm just so impressed. And I wish you the very best of everything. This is a good group. Sometimes I talk too much. Don't want them to hear me say that out loud.
Her problem is she has to listen to me talk all day long. And
All day long.
Why would she come to a place where I do more talking?
Yeah.
Well, that's what these little orange things are for.
I gotta go shopping.
Hey, they're at Dollar Tree.
We gotta go shopping. Well, it's so nice to meet you, and I'll be praying for you, thinking of you.
It's wonderful to meet you, and I appreciate all the sentiment you shared. It means a lot.
It's not easy what you're going through. I know. I wish there was some way to fix it. Make
Me
it better. You're
A lot
young,
of crying. It helps.
young, bright. You've got a beautiful personality. You deserve better. Much better. take good care of you. I'll get out of the way.
You're more than welcome to stay if you want, but I understand those earplugs might need to go in.
They do. I gotta go pet the dog. So,
I hear that.
Good
hello,
to see you.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Peter. What's wrong with Peter?
I need to sign
Yes,
off,
love.
but I want to thank everybody for everything that you all are doing, and look forward to seeing you all again next month.
Rich, it's good to see you.
Yep. Take
Thank
care.
you for your
Rodney's
input,
really
Rich.
there. Is Rodney's there?
Mike, I will be commenting on your essay. Don't worry.
Thank you.
You bet. You bet.
Yeah.
It does show that he's here, but it shows that he's muted and, but it
He's
does show
doing
Rodney's
something
here.
Yeah, I don't know. He runs the carousel at one of the local parks on Saturdays. So I don't know if he's doing that today or not. He hadn't said anything. He may
And
just.
sometimes he's attending the meeting while he's running the carousel.
Yeah.
So, you know, we get 30 frames a second is a little too slow to, you know, actually film what he's doing. And it gets a little loud, but he's great. He's great.
All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna go.
I'll go ahead and
All
let y'all have the rest of your day as well. But thank you guys.
Shauna, good to see you. Mike, good to see you.
Yeah.
Linda, good to see you.
Oh, now we have an extra set of experience about how not to start a meeting.
Well, yeah, I don't know if we learned anything from that because it was totally my personal error. I don't quite understand why I did this, but I always start up the meeting the way you're supposed to, and then I have full powers. But I got on the iPad, and suddenly the iPad became, you know, the host, and so then I was left with my laptop without any controls, and I freaked out. So sorry about that, but
I had just barely grasped it when you shut down. Too late to. Anyway.
Did you have your Bluetooth on, Judd, on your iPad?
No, he had two sessions.
oh
going.
yeah, Bluetooth. Yeah, I'm not plugged in.
Sometimes the Bluetooth being on, it'll switch devices.
Takes over. Yeah. See, what I've got to remember, I like having the little monitor here. It's like you know, it shows me what people are seeing, and that's pretty important. But I think today I must have connected up too late. The Bluetooth. I'm going with that explanation. That's good. It's you know, I've been in video conferencing for about since it started 15. It's still voodoo, you know, because of all the overlays that were added. But yeah, at least we're experienced enough that we know kind of how to recover. Mike's real good about that. He doesn't panic. That's the key. So.
Well, thank you again for everything. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for the support. And I look forward to being in contact with you, Judd, about some volunteering and going from there. I'll see you guys in December and go from there.
Okay, terrific. Shauna, have a good week. And we'll be talking to you soon.
Sounds good. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.